Assalamu alaikum, my name is Salim Siddiqui and you're watching the HotConflict.com video series. And we said we're continuing to talk about Eid al-Akbar, the great Eid or great festival of the Muslims. Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice, as we know as the end of the pilgrimage of Hajj, where Muslims, as we were now just all gathered together, praying and bowing their heads in celebration of the Lord Most High, all of them facing towards Mecca, the holy house in the Arabian Peninsula, or the Kaaba, as we know, built by Abraham and Ishmael. And we've been continuing to tell the story of the importance of this great event, and you're about to be revealed some amazing secrets, greater than anything you've ever heard in the history of mankind. And yes, because we told you you're hearing a tale in a way that you've never heard it before, that we're making stupendous claims unlike the world has never seen. And yet we continue to tell you a tale that is so fantastic and unbelievable that you don't understand how this is possible. And you're going to continue to hear more. And as I said, as I continue to speak more of it will be elucidated, and every part of it will make more and more answers clear, as this is the first time on the face of the earth the story of the truth has ever been spoken in the English language, and we are going to prove this by all the evidences. But we said the story must be understood if we go back to the fundamentals, that above all things we must always remember that there is only one God. In Arabic we say the term Allah, meaning the God. Don't be misdeceived or using the wrong strategy to try and confuse yourself. Understand what Islam means by listening to this story that I told you. I said Islam means someone who understands the story of the truth and submits to the light. And a Muslim is someone who says, I now know the truth and I believe in the story. And those who call themselves that are Muslims, and that the story is the same, that all of those who say we believe in the light, that the Lord Most High is known as the light because no symbol or graven image or icon or statue or cross or pyramid or triangle or anything else of man's thoughts could ever depict the Lord Most High. He is maintained in the story and taught every single bearer of the light, do not make a graven image or any symbol of God. God is greater and more holy than all of that, and that God created Adam, the best of all the races. Even though there are angels, they have no free will, and they do the commandments of their Lord, even though they are made of light. Adam has free will, and he is the best of races. Now there is another race called the Jinn, or the aliens, or the interdimensional beings, made of smokeless fire, that are able to do things that are different than us because of their nature, and they live here on the earth in another dimension that we can't see, and of course throughout the galaxies and the universe. And we said that this is a story of epic proportions, of galactic dimensions, and that you're being told things that you've never heard before, and that every single part of it is going to make sense and correspond in the most perfect way, that no other storyteller who's ever told a tale in the English language could claim. And as I continue to tell the tale, I am telling you that this story is simply the truth. And by the fact that it is actually true and not a tale, every single piece of the word that I'm saying should be verifiable and clear to anybody who hears the story. Now that we're saying that this story has never been heard on the face of the earth in the English language. Well, don't get lost in the story. Let's stay focused and pay attention. We said the fundamentals are very simple. There's only one God. He created the angels and jinn, and then he created Adam. Adam is the most superior race, and God taught Adam the word. All prophets were coming with the word and various books that we now have. Most of them we have lost and don't have preserved. The only book that we have preserved in complete form is the Quran in Arabic, that the very Lord Most High spoke to the final messenger, who we said is the Prophet Muhammed. And we explained why he is the final messenger and what was the importance of that. And we explained the nature of the miracles, that he was the messenger for all of mankind. And so from this point on, all of the conversations and signs to the world must be huge and dramatic. And it's important to know this point, because from here on out, everybody in the earth knows the message and the word at one point. And so we're saying that you're hearing this message for the first time in the English language being transmitted to you, so that everything I say must be verifiable. We're going to have some strange proofs. But we said that something weird has happened. Well, we maintain that we should not get distracted into petty squabbles or racial conflicts or global wars, that we should stay focused on the more important understanding of worshiping the true Lord, the one who created the universe and everything that is in it. And we maintain that all of the prophets and bearers of the light told their nations that there are other races and we are not alone and they are out there. And we've gone through some of the descriptions of that, but we've maintained that in this battle of light versus dark, that those who call themselves believers in the light are bearers of the light, and those who follow the darkness, namely Satan, the leader of the dark forces, to cover up and conceal the truth that I am making clear to you for the first time in the English language. Well, we've gotten to a point on the earth where something so dramatic has happened. We said that mankind has always been deceived by the powers of darkness to enslave each other and create disunification amongst all of the children of Adam, and make some people more elite or above others. And this has been a methodology throughout all of time. And some of the ancient civilizations, the Jinns or the aliens, worked together with the royal families and enslaved mankind. And sometimes that information was known to you and sometimes it wasn't. But if you go back through the history of time and understand the tale of the truth that I'm telling to you, ladies and gentlemen, you will understand everything that we've been talking about. But we said to continue this tale to the very moment that we're in, that something amazing has happened on this country called America, the greatest land on the earth. Since we said this is a conversation about the whole of the earth, and since the last prophet is the prophet to all of mankind, that any place on the earth, that any person who submits to the light can bow down towards the holy house. And I'm giving you all of the signs so that you can see the truth, so that when it is made known to you, you might just see the light. That on the earth at this moment, a man who has come from a country that said they wanted to find the light, but then enslaved another of the children of Adam, wrongly understanding that white people were superior to black people because of the color of their skins, instead of understanding the brightness of the soul, which is more important. And I revealed to the brothers and sisters how, regardless of anything, the true nature of those who call themselves black people is even more beautiful in the true story than anything they had heard before. But something amazing happens on the earth. Something, as a Muslim, I must admit, that sometimes you're not sure what Allah, the Lord Most High, is doing. I mean, all of us get to this point when we're wondering, God, really, what's going on? I mean, the world has been such a crazy place lately that it's so hard to see the light. But we said, if we remember the fundamentals, that God told us that Adam was our father and he was breathed of the soul, and every messenger came to remind us of the beauty of that so we didn't forget. And Jesus especially taught us that, to remember that you have the soul, and it is because of the light of God, not that Jesus was the Son or anything ridiculous, because there's only one God. The fundamental is always the same. And if you want to understand Jesus and his importance, go back in the story and listen. But we said we've gotten to the point where something strange is happening on this planet. And because all of the signs have to be at a level that are huge, that anybody who ever sees a sign or talks of a true sign of the Lord, it must be something that is clear to all of mankind. Will anybody on the earth ever tell people of the West and America the story of truth of Islam? Was there anybody, even the non-Muslims, were screaming, "Please, oh Lord, send us someone who can explain to us what the frack is going on in the world, and is there a friggin' Muslim around who can tell us what's going on?" Nobody is there to explain anything in simple words. There wasn't anybody. And I was doing such a meager, humble attempt that I don't deserve any credit. I'm just a son of Adam. I was doing strange things, but there for you to reference and see. I was getting on TV and trying to get into movies and do stuff on the stage and doing interviews on radio station, talking about politics and communication and conflict resolution and some of the ideas of a professional person that I had learned after law school. And this is what I was attempting to do in a strange communication method. Because as I told you, I didn't understand any of what I am telling to you right now in this story just a few days ago. I didn't know it. I promise to you, as the Lord Most High is my witness, I didn't know the story that I'm telling to you right now a few days ago. So how the hell did I figure out this story? I said we have been sitting here as Muslims, looking at something strange on the earth, that a man named Barack Hussain Obama has been chosen to become President of the United States. Do you know how dramatic a change on this planet that is? A sign that in the nation that is the most powerful of all of the earth, the most wealthy and in status, where there is an idea that the elites rule, the nation that once used to enslave black people has taken a black man and made him their president. And as I'm speaking these words, I can't believe it. Now, since the truth is known to the very moment, it hasn't happened yet. He's not even the president yet. So here is a sign that I'm telling you the truth of the story of the light before the man who has been blessed with this sign even takes the office to your nation. I am revealing you the truth of the story of the light. That it is a sign to those who understood and know that a man was coming to this place. And what was he able to do? Now, as I said, I should be able to explain the story of the truth to the very reality of your world in the story and make it clear why it works. So Barack Hussain Obama, I can't believe it, you can't believe it. Nobody in the world who can watch this believes it. Yet everybody on the whole planet Earth has seen the sign that something dramatic has come. And it means something specific. So let's go back to the fundamentals so that we don't forget, because when I reveal to you the truth of your own reality, you must not forget what the fundamentals is. The fundamentals, there's only one God. Don't worship anybody else other than the Lord Most High. Call him whatever name you want. We use the term Allah, and we know that in the last revealed scriptures, that is the way you should refer to him. But however you understand him as the truth of the light, the Lord who created all of the universe and everything that is in it. Every power and technology and knowledge or supernatural or natural that is in the universe was made by the Lord Most High. But he told us the signs. He created Adam, angels, and jinns, and we went through that whole problem. And Adam was told of the prophets to come with books of the word, that you will all live and you will all die, you will be raised up, and there is heaven and hell, and all of this is by the plan of the Lord. So I'm telling you that it is a sign for those who see that a man would come to their people, speaking their language. Now, as I told you the story, and you saw in my own personal story the reference, he has one father who is a Muslim and a mother who is a Christian. He came out being dark-skinned, even though I came out being white-skinned. Yes, you're going to hear some trippy stuff. Very, very amazing story up to the very moment. God have mercy on me and allow me to continue to speak. Bismillah. By the name of God, I'm saying the very truth. So he, the one who has come as a sign to the people, has one Muslim father and a non-Muslim mother, and neither of them are alive on this earth. A strange tale, don't you think? Such a strange tale. Something that no one could have ever perceived, but an indication of what was to come. How did he become the president-elect? He told you a story and said that we as a nation are based on doing better, or doing what is more generous or noble for all of mankind. He didn't know how to tell you the story, so he said, at least I will try to explain something of them that we know as a society. Things are so bad that we should change. The word that he decided to use was change. We're going worse into darkness and corruption and deception and disintegration of everything about our nation, and so we must decide to change. Now, even the word change is a reference to what? The light or goodness. Even though the term light wasn't used, the idea of change is always towards what? Something better, something more noble, something of the light. And so as long as a person recommends or preaches and tells and runs on a platform of saying, we would like to be the people of more light, change for the better, and it is a person who we feel, as men, that we listen to the words of Barack Obama, and we feel that the way he speaks the word, he is able to tell the truth, that we trust that light, that he wants what is better for mankind. Now, I'm not making any claims about his success or failure or what his true motivations are. I'm just explaining to you the reality of what is happening in the world that all of us are feeling, and that if I'm telling you the story of truth, it must make sense in this story. And so the worst stain that we've had is now being eliminated for the whole planet to see, that of all our race, the most powerful nation has decided to elect a black man to its leadership. And in this, there is a sign of many people of the Muslim world that they know of. And the truth is being made known to you today. But I'm about to say something so much weirder than what you've already heard. That the way he was able to do it is in the methodology that I told you, the clear sign of Barack Hussein Obama that everyone must admit is the ability of those of the true light use, and that is the word, right? The word. Those who express the light by the word, it is always heard correctly. And so I looked at the story of Barack Hussein Obama and could not believe that he spoke of goodness and tried to tell a story of goodness and not get distracted in any of the other political issues, and that people actually voted for him. I was amazed. And I couldn't believe it. And I am saying before all of you listening audiences that all of the Muslims I have talked to still can't believe it, including my own father, who I talked to. No one can believe it. But know that this is a sign. And as I just mentioned my father, I am going to tell you why I mentioned my father, because I am not anything special. But I am going to say something so amazing right now that you have never heard. Let it be known on this earth that my name is Salim Siddiqui and that there is nothing great about me. I am just a son of Adam, and I have been chosen for a task because the Lord Most High, in the fundamentals of faith, planned it to be so, and I realized what it was that was my job, that I am telling you right now as a truth and fact, that the sign of Barack Obama to the world was an indication that you, the English-speaking people were about to be told the truth of the story of what I refer to as Islam, which is the true story of the light, that the story of truth of Islam was going to be made clear to you for the first time ever on this earth. Can you believe what I just said? If anybody who calls themselves Muslims heard what I just said, they must think I am the greatest blasphemer who ever existed. Are you telling me that the story that you're telling us right now, Barack Obama is a sign that you were going to tell the story? I am telling you that is the truth by God, as Allah is my witness. That Barack Hussein Obama is a sign to all of the world that someone will come in the West speaking the truth of the light in the English language, and everybody should know the clarity of that sign. Barack Obama, the President of the United States elect, was a sign to the whole planet that I, son of Shamshad Ali, was going to tell you the story of the truth for the first time in the English language. And it is only, as I told you, because my father is a noble bearer of the light, and he made a prayer. And he said, "Oh, please, God, give me a son. Oh, please, God, give me a son who can speak the words and tell them the truth." But I don't think my father understood everything of the story. And so I'm going to say, you have heard an amazing tale. You have heard an amazing tale, and I promise to tell you all of the secrets of everything you have ever imagined. That if you listen to the tale and understand the truth of the story, everything that you have ever wondered must be made clear to you. And so we've continued to maintain the fundamentals that I am nothing but a son of Adam. But because I have the word of the light, I can explain to you everything. And this has never happened in the English language before this moment on earth. The sign was there. All the sons of Adam are to remember the fundamentals. You were at a war. Never forget it. Light versus darkness. There are evil of the other races, and some there are believers, as we now know. There are good from mankind, and there are evil from mankind. And the truth of that is obvious. The color of someone's skin or the language of their words will never change the fact that they all have a soul, and of every race and language and word, there is bearers of light and holders of darkness and deception. The sign to the world that you were about to be told the story of truth is that for you, for the first time, in the country that is greatest on the earth at this time, that has enslaved man against the very story that we said, has now taken that same black man, and not even an African American, an actual African American. I mean, so much closer to the sign that we ever thought. No one in America would have believed that an African man, being Muslim, then marrying a white woman, and then their son would become president. But in this was a sign, and it was a sign greater than everything that has come before on the face of the earth. The fact that Barack Hussein Obama became president of the United States, or is about to be, was a sign, ladies and gentlemen, that you were about to hear in the English language the story that I am revealing to you today. Please don't understand me as arrogant, because arrogance is what deceived Satan and what made every generation of man before us fall into disarray. I am nothing but a humble son of Adam, and it wasn't because I was blessed, but only because my father the one who bore me, and my mother, who is a blessed holder of the faith, that I've been given a task greater than many who have come before. Subhanallah, praise and blessings be of the Lord Most High. I'm so humbled to be allowed to do this. That it must come to pass that someone, after it is made known on the whole land, that someone could come being able to communicate the word and become the leader, that someone from amongst their own people, living amongst them, learning their knowledge, having been with them, born and raised with them, but who was born Muslim, of believing parents, and the signs in my own life that I indicated to you, someone must come to the people of the earth and explain to them before the end of days the truth of the story of the light once and for all, so that from this moment on you would know the story. So if you're paying attention to this, you've gotten to the point where you've been hearing, wow, I can't believe this. I can't believe he's making the claims that he's making. Whether you're a Muslim or a non-Muslim, no one's ever told you this story before in your life. And so I'm telling it to you by the will of the Lord Most High, Allah, who if he, who I say is controller of everything in the whole universe, if I were lying, by God, I would be struck down dead, because no one can speak the lie against God without God willing it. But we've told you the deception is always there. But I will never speak a lie about God. That is the thing that Satan deceived our whole race in the beginning of the story. If you've heard the story, then you know that just in the way I'm telling you the story, it must be true, and there's a reason for that. And when I tell you the reasons of everything, you will be so tripped out that when we say understand the fundamentals, that the Lord Most High is planner of everything, that every single word and event that I spoke of is there for a reason, and I can actually explain it and it makes sense. Oh, do you understand? That it is with that ease, because I have the knowledge of the book, the Quran, that I can make such a noble and bold claim that your president, speaking to you of the light and reminding you, just a reminder, oh people, he says to you, we should be doing better. Let's change. And because it was coming from the light of his soul, it was believed, and the majority, or many of the sons of Adam, white or black, doesn't matter, accepted and said, yes, we wish to change for the better. And all of that, ladies and gentlemen, who are amazed at what has happened on the earth, I tell you that all of that is an indication that I was going to come to tell you a story. And I'm saying once and for all that the reason that I am able to do this is only by the blessings of the Lord. And my Father, peace and blessings be upon him, said before I was even born, oh God, give me a son who can actually talk to these people. I don't know what he needs to say or what he's going to do, but at least somebody can have a conversation and let them know what the frack is really going on in the world. Somebody's got to tell them the story of the truth of the light and make them see. Now, everything that my father said, I never understood. I didn't get, and I couldn't comprehend. But here I was, sitting in my own home in Houston, Texas, wondering what to do and how to communicate, and not knowing what to say at all, and not having any of the knowledge that I've just shared with you. Can you believe that that's even possible? As wonderful as a tale that I'm telling, I'm admitting wholeheartedly and humbly that just before a few moments in the history of mankind, in the magical tale that I have told you from the beginning of time till now, that just a few moments ago, I had no clue of what I have just revealed to you. And why that is so will be made known to you, as there is no doubt. Please let me take a break.